Hi friends! Welcome back to another episode of Kaylaycreates, and today I'm doing something a little bit different than normal. So today I am doing another collaboration, so this is with another group, so this is with the House of Fang, and all of us are doing different urban legends. And one that I was super excited to talk about is the Lady of Lake Lanier. So I am like obsessed with true crime. I don't know if I've said that in any of my other videos, but I listen to true crime podcasts on my way to and from work every day. I watch videos, I watch Netflix, all of that. It's just so interesting to me. Another profession that I thought about doing before marine biology was forensics, because it's science and true crime all put together. But today I'm talking a little bit more of a like mystery type of thing. So I'm gonna try and tell the story. This is not my cup of tea. So I am still learning how to tell stories like this. I've gotten most of my information from southerngothicmedia.com. So this is, not like a true story kind of thing. There's lots of there's facts, but there's not a lot of facts. I'm just gonna go into it. So in 1946, the Army Corps of Engineers decided to dam the Chattahoochee River in Georgia to create lots of water and engineering and energy for the area. So where that dam was going to fill with water, there were a couple of towns. So the Army Corps of Engineers actually paid the people for their land so that they would move off, so that they could find their own lives. It sounds like it was not really like voluntary, because obviously like your house is gonna be flooded, so you kind of still have to leave. All of these towns kind of just left. So as the dam was being built, all of these towns were starting to pack up and they left. So there were houses and churches, and there's a speedway that were all lost to this new lake, which is named Lake Lanier. It's named after a poet who wrote a song about the Chattahoochee River, but it's super spooky under there. Imagine ghost town after ghost town underneath the water, and there are actually cemeteries under there as well. Supposedly the Army Corps of Engineers went in and moved all of the graves that were marked for the people that were known, but I've also heard that the technology during that time wasn't the best. So just the whole beginning part of this lake was kind of spooky, so it kind of has like a weird start to begin with. So from the 40s, since the lake has begun, because it is a dam, it's just kind of growing larger and larger slowly. And during this time, there were tons of mysterious deaths. So it is estimated that there is just under 700 lives lost since the 1950s in Lake Lanier. And some of these are accidents from bridges, cars going off of bridges, some of them are accidental drowning, some of them are boating accidents, and I'm not exactly sure if that is higher than normal on a lake, but from what it sounds like it's pretty high. And a lot of them were people who are super careful drivers, or have been boating all their lives, or they are professional swimmers and they are perishing in this lake. So there are rumors that it is cursed. Some people say that they feel phantom limbs grabbing them from the water. Some people say that they see people under the water, these like ghostly figures. But everybody is saying that there's just something spooky about the area. So this is a very large lake in Georgia, so a ton of people go there every year. And so maybe the odds are just that this lake, a lot of people go there, a lot of people are gonna get hurt. A lot of times people who are very professional with what they do, they start to get lackadaisical and they cut corners because they think that they're so good at something. I'm not sure if this is exactly what's happening, but it still sounds pretty spooky. But The actual urban legend that I wanted to talk about today is the Lady of the Lake. So in 1958, two women were driving across the bridge and their car spiraled out and it went into the river. These two women are Delia Mae Parker Young and Susie Roberts. And the only thing that let people know that there was even an accident were the tire marks on the road before they went off the bridge. These two women were missing, so they just kind of assumed this is what happened, but the car was not found. There were searches and searches and nobody could find this car. About a year later, a fisherman came across some remains of a woman. She was floating on the surface. She was missing her hands and a couple toes. Some people say this is from fish, some people say that it's from the ghosts. But at that point she was so not looking so great that it was very difficult to ID her. Plus in 1959 there was not a lot of genetics and things like that going on. A lot of people assume that these were Delia or Susie, but it was not exactly known for a very long time. Just over 30 years later, that's 30, that's a long time, in a lake. Just over 30 years later, the car was found, and this was because the lake was being dredged to build a new bridge, and only one set of remains was in the car, and this was Susie's. So it is assumed that Delia was the woman floating all those years before. So this is where the legend comes from of the Lady of the Lake. Supposedly on the bridge that goes over the lake, you can see a woman standing there walking the length of the bridge, and she is missing her hands. She is in a blue dress, a flowy blue dress. She looks beautiful, except her hands are gone. I don't believe she does anything. I believe she's just seen, and a lot of people say that they have seen this apparition. So this is kind of what people are saying. Some people also say that they will see a woman in a blue dress trying to pull them down into the water. I just think it is super cool that these women live on. It's not just an awful tragedy, it is also this legend that has gone down in history, and they are now this beautiful ghost that walks the length of a bridge. But I just think this is a really spooky and cool story. I'm normally not into ghost stories, but this one has just been stuck in my mind for absolutely forever. But I can't talk about it much anymore. That's about everything that is there. So with that being said, I am going to jump into the makeup. All right, so to begin, let me put my hair back because this is a more creative look. So the look that I am going for today is that. So that is insane. So this is by Sulfur Applesauce. So I actually follow her on Instagram and TikTok, and I think she's just so talented. And I wanted to do this look for a really long time, so this kind of gives me a reason to do it. So I'm really excited. But the very first thing that I'm gonna do is do my base because I want to really pale myself out. I know I'm already super pale, but I really want to go for it, like get as pale as possible, so that it looks like I'm dead and drowned. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is prime. Okay, so the primer that I'm gonna be using today is the Benefit Professional Primer. I don't want to use anything dewy or glowy or anything like that. Okay, and then this is the lightest foundation that I own. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid foundation in the shade Fair Neutral.
Thy spawn has been wetted.
Okay, and then for concealer, this is my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And then I'm gonna set everything with my Everyday Vacay Ciate London powder, which I'm actually getting a little low on. Okay, so the palette that I'm going to be using today, because it has a lot of blues and purples. I might be using other palettes as well, but I'm gonna be using this big bad boy. This is my BYL Cosmetics The Dream Book palette. And I'm gonna be starting with just putting some blue in my crease, so I'm gonna be using the shade that's all the way over here called Monster. Okay, and then on my lid, I'm gonna be using this color all the way over here. It's a blue shimmery color. This is called Virtual Reality. Okay, this palette doesn't have any black in it, so I'm gonna use another palette for black. Okay, so I'm using my Violet Voss Essentials palette, and I'm just using the black shade just to blend into the outer corners because I feel like it's just too bright. Okay, then she has this really like blown out purple on her inner corners. So I'm gonna be using the shade here called Napping. Okay, this again is just a little bit too bright for me. I'm gonna be using this reddish shade right here called Imagination to kind of dull it out a little bit. And I'm gonna be using just a little bit of this yellow up here, that one, called Ecstasy, just to kind of bring in that really bruised look. Okay, she does have liner on, and I think I'm gonna put some on as well. I hope this doesn't ruin it. So the liner I'm using is my Essence Super Precise eyeliner. Okay, and then she has these like purple and red like veiny things going on under her eyes. So I'm gonna be adding those in with this little tiny brush. Okay, so I'm just gonna use 1001 palettes today. I wanna do like a gray to sink in my cheeks. So I'm gonna use this Hip Dot, which one is this? C-Note? I think that's the name of the park, C-Note, and this is gonna be the shade Sacred. It's this like bluish gray. Okay, and then she just has like blue detailing around the outsides of her face. So I'm just gonna be adding little bits of blue all over. And then she has this like bruise on the top of her head, which I really like. So I'm gonna be doing kind of some bruising that's similar to here, just with bigger. And then before I do my lips, I want to do some shading like on my body as well. So I'm just gonna be doing like, trying to fill in like the hollows of my chest and things like that, just look really like sick and not doing super well. Okay, and then for lips, at least for the actual lipstick, I'm gonna be using my NYX Liquid Suede, and this one's in the shade Jet Set. I have not used this one just yet. Okay, and then I really want to like mess up the lips. I want to like kind of blend out like the outside a little bit. So let's see if this actually works. I'm gonna be using just a regular blending brush. I'm gonna use some of that like purple to kind of, or some of that red to kind of tone this down a little bit. Almost there, almost there. And then I'm gonna be putting on, actually before I put on mascara, I'm gonna set my face. But for mascara, I am using Trestique Good Vibes Mascara. And then I am gonna be putting gloss on my lips to make it look like the wet, because, you know, I drowned. And this is just NYX Lingerie gloss, just clear. I love you.
Oh wow, I love you too. You look very pretty.
Yeah?
Pretty dead lady.
Pretty dead lady. That's a compliment. All right, so for my hair, I am just going to be taking my ears off, and I have a spray bottle of water right here, and I'm just gonna... And that, my friends, is the final look. All right, so that was super fun. I'm super excited about this one. Definitely outside of my normal glam look, but I like being able to do stuff like this. It's always really fun to get out there. And I don't know, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. And I don't know, maybe we can get Sulfur Applesauce to see it, because I was totally inspired by her. So thank you guys for coming out today. I hope that you had fun, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.